Hidden Object Guru here with hot upcoming game Out of Line. This was released today in early access. This is brand new. It seems super cool. I am having a carrot. Wait, override my save? I don't have a save. I haven't loaded the game. That's weird. That's weird, right? Yeah, that's weird. This is the first time I loaded the game and it thinks there's already a save file. Anyway, let's get to it. This is a gorgeously hand-drawn platformer, as far as I understand it. Best system for the future, Maddie. Obviously, we have to focus on curing things and improving technology. And obviously, a socialist system is the best because then everyone who works gets the fruit of their labors. It isn't extracted by greedy capitalists who, whose job is to not work for a living and take all of the money of the people who work for them.
And no, to clarify, he's not talking about communism.
Of course I'm not talking about communism. Like legit socialism, not communism. Wow. Okay, that tree looks fantastic. Yeah. Though apparently the whole game was, literally every sprite, and it was drawn by people sitting down with a tablet and drawing all of these, images. And I mean, sure, it's still, computer art. I'm sure they were using computer programs and a computer tablet to do the drawing. But it's an actual person carefully drawing all of these things. They're not 3D models. Exactly right, Maddie. Oh no, we got abducted by an airship or spaceship. We don't know how high up those tentacle claws were coming from. All right, buddy. You take your Princess Leia helmet and you go have an adventure. Seriously, how is that not a Princess Leia helmet?
Well, of course, Maddie. And I mean, our neighbors to the south would say we're all filthy socialists. At least some of them would.
Well, the problem is, Maddie, capitalism really doesn't work well. It's not good at accomplishing things, except to extract money. I always give the example of touchscreens, right? And now touchscreens are who in this world isn't using touchscreens every single day of their life?
Yeah.
They're incredibly convenient. The touchscreen was invented in the late 60s. The base technology for it, a guy came up with this is true, the late 60s. And he went to every electronics firm in America. All the big ones, all the small ones, and said, I need the time and money to develop this. And the response of every electronics firm in America was, it'll be 35 years before that is viable and marketable. So no, of course we're not going to give you that money. We're not going to give you money. Oh, cool. Check it out.
Yeah.
I can make a platform. We're not going to give you the money because we would have to wait 35 years to see a profit. So at some point, the government just said, hey, this touchscreen thing sounds cool, and we don't care if it takes 35 years. Go design touchscreens. And that's the story of why we have touchscreens today. Because the government said, the US government said, sure, 35 years, that's not a problem. We're a government. We're still going to be here in 35 years. Corporations aren't good at inventing things. They're only okay at marketing things. They actually kind of suck at inventing things.
I did not get a bee plushie yet, Coffee. I did, however, get an otter plushie, who now I want to design a space helmet for.
Oh no, 100% we're getting a space helmet for that otter. And if anyone has any craft ideas, and whoa! Okay, that looked at... What the hell is happening? What? Why are there 50 of me?
That's so cool.
What is happening?
And yes, Coffee, as Maddie said, you get to choose a game off the list of Steam games that he has. He'll send it out to you, just private message him on either Discord or Twitter, and he'll send it out to you.
Okay, I thought he was going to shoot me, but no. Oof.
And
Well, if you have any tips for Lady Guru about how to make a spaceman helmet, I'm sure she'll be happy to hear them, Marissa. Wait, what? Okay, that's really cool. Why aren't the other guys moved? Oh. Maybe I can... No, I thought I could hit the...
The actual switch? I feel like you could, but maybe not.
Okay, well that doesn't work. Alright, can we flee? Can we run so fast that we get through it? Oh, we can. Okay, I thought we were going to have to do a trip, but we didn't. Nope. Why is he just jumping in place? Okay, my clones are weird and messed up.
Which one's Pac-Man 99?
I haven't played Pac-Man 99. It's Pac-Man, but it's got a lot of new levels and mix-em-ups.
Didn't we do one with the whole levels and all that?
Oh, yeah. We did play some Pac-Man Anniversary Special Edition thing. But I think Pac-Man 99 is a new one like that.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong. It's possible the one we played that has all, like, chaining huge amounts of ghosts together, all of that stuff, that could have been Pac-Man 99.
Yeah.
I just don't know for a fact. Oh, check it out!
And I mean, don't forget, there's also, you can also talk about a capitalist government that's also socialist.
Oh, yeah.
Like, socialist
Oh,
capitalism.
no, it's fine. And this is, I think, the clear part. It's fine to have capitalism for things that don't matter.
Yeah.
But when you allow capitalism into healthcare, when you allow capitalism... Oh, damn, this is ridiculous.
And that's part of the problem with our own healthcare system, in that we do have socialized healthcare, and all the problems that our neighbors to the south often point out about our socialized healthcare are actually caused by it being a for-profit system that's also a capitalist system, in that it's run by private companies trying to make a profit, rather than just a government, concerned with giving healthcare to their populace.
Yeah,
and that has happened gradually over quite a few decades of various provinces selling off their healthcare, like their labs
infrastructure
and their infrastructure, to private individuals.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it can be to get a blood test done?
Yeah.
Just because all of these private labs are run so terribly?
Yeah. Because again, they need to have a profit. And they need to make more profit every year, because that's how capitalism works.
And if you're wondering, can anything make more every year indefinitely? No. Yeah. That can't... Oh, God. I don't like those guys. It can't happen. The Child on Steam. We will look it up, Coffee, and it'll be up to her whether she wants to try it.
I mean, it's called The Child, so is it a Grogu game?
It is not a Grogu game.
I'm very disappointed.
I can guarantee that it's not a Grogu game, and if I'm wrong, I will be grossly chagrined. Hey, he waved to his clone self! What's going on with all these clones?
I think they might be warning you about what's coming next.
Okay.
That's my theory, anyway.
That makes sense.
Am I, half paying attention?
I'm loving this guy's
this is
javelin.
Really cute.
It looks great. Puzzle platformer. I'm never going to be good enough at a game like that to get a record, Coffee. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
It is literally redonkulous to ask someone to pay to not die.
It's a strange thing, Maddie. Like, my parents were going down to Florida for a few years in a row before,
we had that
happened
plague
in America. Well, no, they stopped going even before the plague. And they were like, thank goodness we stopped going. But, they would, but they're friendly people. They would meet people down in Florida, and people would ask them about Canada. They'd be like, we've heard horrible things about your healthcare system. And they're like, no.
No?
And they would literally have to stop and explain. Like my mother would be like, no, my husband had a heart attack and had to have heart surgery.
Elaborate heart surgery, and be in a hospital for 2 weeks, and
And
had all
like,
sorts of outpatient afterwards.
How much did that cost?
Nothing.
No, really, how much did that cost?
Zero money.
And it's this thing that people can't wrap their mind around, that it's just like, you have a major medical emergency and it won't
bankrupt you.
Yeah. And that's something that people because they
have a hard time wrapping their head around. Yeah. And I understand why they have a hard time wrapping their head around it. Yeah. Ah, okay. Well, no, and I mean, Americans can get confused about that, but it's like, In the same way that if a gag order is placed on a trial, and then you talk about the elements of that trial, you can be fined or thrown in jail. And that's not a question of free speech. It's like, no, courts have a right... No! Courts have a right to set their own standards, and it's as simple as that.
Well, and it's like what I was taught in school.
Careful. Oh, come on!
I remember being taught in school. See? And there was a guy earlier that had that happening.
You're absolutely right.
So what I was taught in school, Maddie, of course, Canadian school, was Americans say they have free speech, and they do to a point.
I don't think so, Coffee. You should look into that.
Canadians, we have free speech, caveated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's that old saying, you can't shout fire in a crowded theater. But it's all like, we have hate speech laws. We have, and I mean, sometimes I wish those
again, they're the social equivalent. Yeah. Their laws, they say the idea of Canada is that they consider speech so dangerous that there is speech so dangerous that's the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded theater. Yeah. One of my favorite statements about the politics of division and awfulness is someone asked, why is New Zealand such a great place to live? And the politician responded, because we didn't let Rupert Murdoch buy any newspapers here. And it's as simple as that. Like, New Zealand is a good place to live because there's no one paying money to divide people. There's no Rupert Murdoch, so it's still a good place to live.
Yes, Maddie, but...
Oof.
Isn't Maddie in Alberta?
Yeah.
Yeah, your province has the least amount of socialized medicine.
Yeah, that's just your bad luck of living there.
In our country.
Maddie.
For us, both Homer and I have unfortunately had opportunities to ride in ambulances. And yes, an ambulance ride, 50.
It was 50?
It's 50.
Oh yeah, it was like $50, yeah.
It's $50.
I mean, I was pissed that I had to pay for an ambulance, but at the same time, that's all I had to pay.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you had to pay.
Yeah.
They sent me home with, severe painkillers, completely free of charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the subsequent prescription you had to pay for.
Obviously. But yeah, I mean, you can improve our system by adding in drug control. Yeah. Oh my god, he's waving to me! Hi. And I can open his gate.
Yeah. Cute, right? You okay?
Oh, I'm great.
You inhaled a carrot, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Damn carrots, they're so good.
Yeah, no, your province is different from a lot of other provinces, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You have less...
socialized healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah, they've let too many private operators into the healthcare there. I mean, again, that's our opinion. See? He opened the first one for me, but he can only do one at a time. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. Okay, that didn't work. Careful, and done. Thank you. So maybe I can stop this thing?
Now, Marissa, to your point, an ambulance here does cost the same no matter how close to the hospital you are. When I was in a car accident, my ambulance ride to the hospital was still $50, even though I was...
this is not an exaggeration. 1.5 blocks away from the hospital. Even though she'd been in an accident, she could have gotten out and walked. But they're not going to let you do that, obviously.
I kind of had a broken foot.
You did.
Still.
Yeah, 1.5. It was insane.
I was literally right in front of the hospital. Oh.
Is that far enough?
To which it was really funny, because that intersection is apparently a really bad intersection. It's kind of like a blind corner where you're turning.
Oh.
So someone speeding coming the opposite way, it's apparently very common for accidents to happen there.
Which
I found out at the hospital emergency room. Because
like, we get people here all the time.
Oh my god, it happens there all the time.
Dang it!
Yeah, Maddie. I was actually... So I got in a car accident at that corner, 1.5 blocks away from the hospital, on my birthday.
Yep. Exactly 15 years ago, Monday.
15 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was. Exactly 15 years ago Monday.
And I remember the emergency room doctor writing me a note.
Whoa!
Like, I was like, clearly I can't go into work. I can't walk. And she was like, I'll write you a note, and write the note today. And by that point, my mother was there with me. And we were like, no, that's not today's date.
Yeah.
And her being like, no, it is. And we're like, no, trust me. That's not the date today.
Believe you me, I know what day it is.
Yeah.
I had to walk over to the hospital.
I remember that.
I would have taken a cab, and in fact I offered to take a cab, but you were like, don't bother. We live that close.
Yeah.
And we do. We live that close to the hospital.
And I was like,
That's why we hear helicopters literally all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what I'm supposed to do. Yes, Alberta has gone a long way to try to make itself more American than any other Canadian province. That's been like a project of Alberta politicians going on for like 30 years, Maddie. Maybe longer. That was embarrassing.
I just got freaked out because I was like, what? You're buying something on Big Fish Games?
You forgot about the monthly...
The automatic renewal, yeah.
Yeah. So it just renewed, which means we just got another game credit. Yay, game credits! Yeah, privatization is a disaster. Because the whole concept of privatization is kind of a con, because they're like, as a business, we'll do things more efficiently and provide better service for less money. But that's just not how anything works.
This game is adorbs.
It's dangerously mega adorbs. It's not how anything works, because, like, generally... Whoa! Healthcare is not set up to have a lot of wiggle room to do a better job for less money. It's just not how healthcare works. So, you see what the game did there? So, let's say I rotated it, but forgot to move it far enough to the right for him to get off. They gave me an extra standee to plug it into so I could help him afterwards. How cool is that?
It's super cute. This game is really cute.
I keep forgetting to throw my thing. It's really embarrassing. Yeah, it's fascinating, Maddie. It's why I will defend the LCBO. Because it's like, oh, well, if a corporation took over, booze would cost less. I'm like...
Does booze really need to cost less?
Does booze need to cost less? Like, do we need booze to be cheap?
Don't get me wrong. Like, the convenience of having a nice place, like, close to my house to, you know, buy a bottle of wine on my way home would be nice.
No! I thought I had him! Damn it.
But that being said, like, in our province, they actually did open it up to grocery stores, and, yeah, I just
helped anything.
I don't care. Like, I don't need it to be more easy to get alcohol.
Yep. Alright, here we go.
I mean, it would be nice if, just like with the vaccine, we didn't live in an LCBO desert.
Yeah, that would be nice. I really feel like the mall next to us could use an LCBO. There's a couple of empty stores there. They can put in a little one. Boom. Damn, Maddie. Yeah, that's insane. The idea of leaving Canada? Oh my god. Oh no, it's one of these puzzles. The one where multiple things happen when you press a thing? That should be good enough, right?
I think so.
Do you know what I really like that there's a preponderance of now?
Yeah?
Games where you play as a guy whose job is to go and clean up blood at crime scenes before the cops find it. There's like... There've now been, I think, 4 games with that premise. No! Okay, this is a problem. Okay, I couldn't jump, so that one's a little too much of an angle. We'll see, Coffee. We might be playing something else on Sunday. We had a pitch that I'd play some of my beloved Viscera cleanup detail, so we might be doing that. That's cool, Marissa. America's not great. I don't know if y'all saw that Rick Santorum nonsense this week.
Oh,
Like,
God.
white people invented America out of whole cloth. There was nothing here when we got here. And I'm like, I know that you're a racist, but it's weird that you're a racist that knows nothing about
But
history
that's
or
where
is
their
willing to lie about
concept of Congress came from.
it. The Iroquois Confederacy,
Yeah,
yes.
The Iroquois Confederacy.
Yeah, it was invented by... Their whole idea of how they built their own Congress was largely based on the Iroquois Confederacy. So they even stole their government from the Native Americans. It's true, Marissa. So, you already knew that then. Oh no! More of these worm claws. I hate these guys. But when they're grabbing something they can't see, so we'll have to trick them into grabbing things. Ah! Another fun thing is, Michael Harrington wrote this wonderful historical article. He's this fantastic writer. That was entirely about how the entire state of South Carolina was just invented by African slaves. Because what you gotta remember is, the people who came to America, you know, to settle, were largely rich people. Oh, I thought I could, like, add a hook to it and have them carry me out. And the fun thing about rich people is, generally, rich people don't know how to do anything, because they pay other people to do things for them. So all these guys showed up, and they're like, we're going to be farmers. But they didn't know how to farm? Luckily, their slaves did know how to farm. And, they brought rice. And the ability of these slaves to know how to farm rice is what allowed South Carolina to be a state. Like, essentially, there would have been no South Carolina if these, you know, couple of thousand African slaves didn't already know how to farm rice. And that rice, by the way, is what fed a good portion of all of America for, like, decades until they got the farming done. Yeah. No, I hear you that, Maddie. People will tend to say America, generically. See, we can hop into the thing. That's what I didn't realize. I didn't get that that was a hole on the top. Come on, grab it. What the hell is he doing? Oh! Cool. So I have to put it right in the middle so he'll grab it, and I have to hide inside. Done and done. It's a fantastic story. Yeah, because, you know, that first American colony didn't do so great. They all starved to death and ate their relatives. It was rough being in Jamestown, is the point. Also, a shockingly large number of American settlers, both in the East Coast who first landed and out west, just gave up trying to farm and settle and joined native nations, tribes, and families when they could, just because it was a better way to live. Like, so, if you read, there's this real mystery about Roanoke Island and what happened to the people of Roanoke Island, right? Because all these people just disappeared one day. What could have possibly happened to the people of Roanoke Island? Now, the thing about that is, the people asking that question, were like pointedly, and I would argue maybe purposefully, ignoring the evidence, which is they all just gave up on being settlers and moved in with the local natives. And that's why they wrote Croatoan on a tree, because that's where they went, and there was a native tribe there who they immediately were like, oh, you guys want to come and live with us? Well, we can always use some extra sets of hands to careful, hunt and farm and whatnot. And so they just took them on board. I'm trying to remember the name of the tribe, but that tribe went on to famously have many, many descendants who had blue and gray eyes. And some of them even had nearly blonde hair, because there were so many white people from Europe in their genetic makeup. Cool, Maddie. That's 100%. It is entirely likely that had it not been for the work of those slaves, like, America... I mean, it might have eventually happened, but their attempts to settle America, full stop, would have failed. Because, again, rich people don't know how to do anything. They just know how to pay people, and lots of people weren't psyched to get paid to move to America. Because by all accounts, America really sucked as a place to live for Europeans. Which is true, it did.
Well, the thing that a lot of people from the U.S. Don't know is that Canada studies American history
Almost more than our own.
like in an insane amount.
It's
And
ridiculous.
It's always interesting. Like, I don't know about you, but if I come across a history, say like a history book, or like a book written about Canadian history, written by a non-Canadian historian,
Yeah.
I'm very interested in their perspective.
Oh,
It's always
no!
very
No! He just waved goodbye, like he knew that was about to happen.
sad. And now your guy's all sad.
Well, of course he is.
Dude, this is a bummer.
Wait, is that going to become me later on?
Yes.
Am I going to travel through time and that's me? And this becomes a time loop? Because I'm not psyched about time.
I told you, your phones are warning you about stuff.
Ah, you got me. I didn't run away. It is funny, Marissa, but it's also true. They're like, spoiler alert, famous white people, you didn't build America.
One of my favorite things about Americans talking about American history, the USA talking about USA history, Maddie, is
That didn't work.
is when they talk about the War of 1812, and they talk about the burning of the White House and how the British burned the White House. And I'm like, no, those were all Canadian troops.
I mean, there wasn't a Canada yet.
We were technically part of England, like Britain.
Yeah, Britain, but they were
Yeah.
British Marines stationed in Quebec and the East,
Because when
who came and burnt the White
When
House,
Britain
and it was
got
awesome.
word of what the Canadian troops had done, they were like, no!
You should not have done
we
that.
did not want you to turn around and invade the USA! What are you doing?
It's fine to defend yourselves, but
But,
don't try
like,
and take the country back.
Burnt down the White House? Oh, we did not want you to do that.
Yeah, which is always why the funniest part of the story of the War of 1812 is the idea that the Battle of New Orleans happened after the war was over. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you guys settled the war in diplomatic talks, right? In, like, Boston. And it took 2 weeks for the message to get to New Orleans. Like, they didn't know the war. There were no telegrams. Yes! Oh, we made it out of the factory.
Yay!
Well, of course Canada won the war. Hey, David. America wasn't in a good place to be invading everybody. Like, Britain at the time, and they're like, it wasn't an underdog story. Britain at the time was, like, the world's foremost colonial power, and America had only been a country for about 30 years. Less than? Oh, no, I guess... So War of 1880, 1780, what, 3? So yeah, 40 years of America, and they're like, let's take over Canada. No, England is not going to give up its biggest source of potential resources in the future. Oh, look! So remember how at the beginning they stole all the cubes from the tree?
Yeah.
Well, in the level, we found a secret cube, and we put it back on the tree to regrow it back. Oh, it's very much like Limbo. You have a good night, David. No, this really has fantastic Limbo-esque vibes. This game looks really good. Like, the art is gorgeous, but the gameplay, like the puzzle platform gameplay, solid gold.
If I'm remembering which one Limbo is correctly, I find it's like much more colorful.
Oh, well, of course, Limbo's black and white.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And
Inside is almost black and white, too.
Yeah.
A lot of these
games
games tend to be, like, when they... Oh, no! when they do these art games,
Yeah.
they often tend to make them black and white.
And as much as I love black
That
and white,
aesthetic.
like for movies and stuff like that, that aesthetic, I find sometimes it gets a little hard to see what you're supposed to do.
I
on the
totally get your
screen.
point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whereas
some
this
games will
one-
be like, we're black and white,
Yeah.
but there will be one color to tell you what to do. But
Yeah.
even then, it's
Yeah, it's just
kind
like,
of contrived.
Well, I feel like sometimes, like, there's a few of those games that sometimes you almost lose the art because it gets
Oh,
so
God, yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Whereas
I can
this
see
one,
that.
you can see all the details, which, like, I want to see the details. Your art is beautiful.
Yes! Like I said, Coffee, we will see. I'm not promising to play that, but I am not opposed to playing it either. I appreciate you'd like to see it, but I'm not going to commit myself to
What was
do.
that?
What? I don't understand.
Oh, Why would I tell you to do that? Oh, there you go.
Because we needed to get it out of the way. I just didn't know I was to be further away when I did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are other boss fights in this. That escape from the claw was kind of a boss fight.
I'm hungry.
We should get some food.
I should.
But that would require standing up, and you'd rather me do it for you later?
No, I'm gonna get up and do something. Get
Really?
some food. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't sound like you, but if you want to, go for it. Oh, yes. Canada, we had our own war for independence, but it didn't work out so well. And, we kind of surrendered the whole idea of being independent from England. For another 30 years, then they let us be independent.
Yeah, we asked nicely, or as you say, filled out the proper paperwork.
Yeah, but our first attempt in 1837 was awesome, and we failed miserably. That was not great. Boom.
My favorite.
You have a good night, Coffee.
Have a very good night. My favorite thing
Look,
is
all of the claws are broken. But what happened? Oh no!
buggies.
They just made death spiders. Yeah, basically we had a farmers' revolt in 1837 in Upper and a bit in Lower Canada.
Yeah.
We tried to
So
kick
Quebec
out
and Ontario.
Quebec and Ontario. We tried to kick out the government, and we got beaten down by British Marines, and that was the end of that. There was another famous rebellion, Louis Riel.
Which beer company is based around that?
Which one?
There's one of the beer companies bases their origin around the
Oh, you're right.
yeah,
Which
and I
one
can't
is
remember
it?
which one it is. Anyway, Louis
But
Riel.
anyway, Louis Riel
Yeah.
also led an amazing attempt to have a rebellion
Independence.
and become an independent nation. But he was fighting for the Métis,
Yeah.
which is out west. French trappers, like, fully integrated into native societies.
Yeah.
And they created essentially their own culture and nation called the Métis, which was, again, fully intermingled French and native
Yeah.
and native societies, and that was the Métis. And they decided, why should we have to be paying the British crown just to live when we're the people, like, the natives are the people who already lived here,
Yeah.
and we have fully, like, come and brought, our idea of civilization to this area. Why should we now just do whatever the British want because they're, a month's ride east of here?
Yeah.
And let's just say the British didn't take kindly, the Canadian government didn't take kindly to that, and it didn't go well for Louis Riel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our last attempt at a
But
real
God, what is the thing? Because like
independence movement in
Métis
Canada.
have different treaties than the
Oh, yeah.
rest of the Indigenous Canadians do.
They do, because
Because of
they're
that,
recognized as a completely separate society that's
Yeah.
part French. What the hell?
I have a
What does it
feeling-
want me to do?
So you aim up there.
Look. Okay. Now it's saying RB and... Oh, I have two? So I press RB and I shoot that. Yeah, it's a fascinating story. And then, of course, the last story of Canadian independence is the story of Newfoundland. Which, fun fact, was an independent nation for a while. Check out what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Yes, it worked! Oh, but it only works for a very short amount of
Newfoundland
time.
was an independent
Nation.
nation until World War II.
Yep.
Yeah. Which they actually were entered World War II before Canada,
Mhm.
so way before the U.S.
Yep.
And went bankrupt
didn't work.
doing it and had to join Canada because they had no money left.
It's a sad story, but also a funny one.
My mom still has
I'm so confused.
yeah, so am I. My mom still has a Newfoundland currency.
Awesome, Horror King. Oh, I get it. Check it out. The ones you pick up have a time limit on how long they'll last.
Oh,
So you have to use yours up there.
Newfoundland is gorgeous, Marissa.
Oh, it's one of the best. It's like those islands off of Scotland and Ireland where there's just like nothing but beautiful rolling hills and mountainous crags and cliffs. Just a gorgeous place to visit.
That's the coast.
Yeah, that's the whole coast.
The middle is just like a bunch of freaking forest.
Yeah, nothing but forest.
Nothing but forest.
Beautiful.
It's atrocious. The black flies are horrid.
Oh yeah,
And by black flies, I mean the babits.
black flies are a
In
nightmare.
Canada, we have two different flies that we call black flies. One is a gigantic fly, like a horse fly that bites you. And another one also bites you, and it's a tiny little fly that French Canadians call the babits. That, actually will go through a screen or a mesh. They're so tiny and still bite you.
Yeah, they are terrifying. Ah! Why can't I grab that one?
Which musical, Marissa? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What musical is about Newfoundland?
Really? I didn't know there was a musical about Newfoundland. And I'm going to recommend you visit Newfoundland if it's at all possible for you to do so.
I would
Because it is
recommend
exceptionally beautiful.
taking the longer ferry ride and not going to, oh god, picturing it on a map, Port aux Basques, land in St. John.
Whew, St. John.
St. John.
It's confusing because, and I mean, I'm not saying the people who named the East Coast are terrible at their jobs, but, and this is true, there are two provincial capitals out there, and one of them is named St. John, and the other one is named St. John's, with an S.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. There is no excuse for it. Damn, this game is cool. No, they've done a great job with this thing. What? No! He just pet the monster! Remember the monster that the claw grew?
Yeah.
Well, he just pet it?
Oh, they're friendly monsters.
It could be those were like... I think the claw had corrupted those monsters?
We always
Come
love
from
friendly.
away. Really? Oh, nice!
Oh,
I hadn't heard of that.
Yes, I had heard of that. Because, and here's why.
Come on, buddies.
At the town in Newfoundland where all those planes landed on 9/11 and they house people is called Gander, Newfoundland. And I have a friend who's a very close friend who's
Oh my god!
from Gander, Newfoundland.
I delivered
So
them
I
to
hear
their
about this stuff
barrow.
all the time.
Oh, they went to their barrow to help me.
Oh,
But
God,
they won't be in the
Horror King.
light.
So the horrible joke Horror King just told. Have you heard the rumor about butter? Never mind. I shouldn't be spreading it.
Oh.
Hey, Kikoa!
What up, Kakoa?
Yeah.
The bugs
And
are helping us.
That
This
is
amazing.
very true of Newfoundland. That kind of hospitality. When I was first in Newfoundland, I was a teen and I was camping with my parents. We went over on the ferry with our camper van and did not realize that there was a threat of a ferry strike until we got there. And we're like, we didn't know there might be a ferry strike. Oh God, what if we get stuck here for like a month? And everybody was like, and like literally every place we went, people were like, oh, you can stay with us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like complete strangers just offered to let us stay there.
It's a very
if
cool
we got
place.
stuck. It was very cool.
I suspect you have to be that kind of hospitable when you live on an island, though. What? This is amazing. Uh-oh.
Nice, Marissa. I'm trying to remember.
No!
Someone notable did work on the musical, I believe, right?
Oh, that was
They
close.
did.
Oh my god. Oh, that's fantastic, Marissa. I love it when they go to the trouble of putting out recorded versions of musicals. Okay, well, this is going to be a bit much. Oh, I literally can't hit that. Oh, it clunked on my head.
Oh, yeah, it has to do with the Halifax explosion. Wesley and the support Boston gave Nova Scotia.
Yeah. They sent all of their fire engines and rescue people immediately. It's kind of amazing. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Why do bees have sticky hair?
Why?
Because they use honeycombs.
I'm angry. I'm so angry right now, you have no idea. Okay. Let's do it! Halifax explosion was, well, amazing. Everyone knows that. Okay, so... Wait, why did you come back? I'm so confused right now. Okay, why is my spear disappearing? Is there a time limit on it? I'm not... Look, it keeps disappearing on me. I swear I'm not pressing the button.
Yeah, Maddie, I also know a lot about the Halifax explosion, but my grandfather and his his entire family were actually in the Halifax explosion in Halifax at the time.
No, can't get that in time. I have to think about this one.
I don't know if it won't happen soon. I mean, I'm assuming you're referring to the Canadian Conservative Party failing someday. Is that what that says?
I wasn't looking. Yeah, probably.
I mean, the Canadian Conservative Party also already failed once, and it's now just the Reform Party.
Unless he means the Chinese Communist Party.
That's true. It's not really sure what you mean.
Yeah. He might have meant the Chinese Communist
That
Party.
is true. He might have. Since we were talking about Canadian history, I was like, oh, no, you meant China. I'm sorry. My brain went to Canada.
Good question, Maddie. I can't say that I know enough about Chinese politics to weigh in on whether they're going to fail at some point. Obviously, it would be better for the world if they did, but I can't confirm that's going to happen. I think I know what I'm supposed to do. All right, I think I got this. And check it out. This will go there. It'll run out of time. I grabbed the wrong one.
Boo worms. Oh, you're buffering? Boo, Marissa.
That's Sooks. Alright. Nope, I want that back. I want to grab this. Push it that way. I want to grab this one.
Was it something about a crushing defeat?
We got it.
Because if it was, I enjoyed it.
You just have to wait for the timer to run out on this bad boy.
Well, that's the nice thing about Canadian politics, Maddie. At least it still seems to be the nice thing. in that we don't really, like, people don't really choose a party to support. We tend to still, as a country, vote for individuals or the leader of a party, but
Yeah.
not like.
I only vote conservative.
Yeah, there's
I only
not
vote,
a. Yeah, there's starting to be a change in that, but there's not.
So here's the corrupted spider monsters.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
There's a big mean guy there.
Damn, this gets more and more intense.
This game is adorbs.
Anyway, that's the end of the part of the game that's available for now. Just as we meet that weird bat-eared hunter who looked scary but was actually there to save us from the Spydron. So, yeah, this thing looks magnificent and plays incredibly well. So for now, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons for that coming up. Questions, suggestions, related whatnots, go in the comment section below the video. I'll see you back here for more new and upcoming games, but until then, I'm going to say that's right. Au revoir.